Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreens.com, and I got another movie to review for you guys, and that would be Bleed for This. Now, if you guys don't know what this film is about, this is the true life story of Vinny Pazienza, who is a boxer, and he gets into an accident, and he pretty much severs his spine. Doctor tells him he won't be able to walk again, he won't even be able to fight again, and he eventually trains himself into another boxing match, and he ends up being a champ again. Very inspirational underdog story. I love these types of films. It's one of my guilty pleasures is underdog boxing films. Who doesn't like a good one, right? How is this one? Well, I was looking forward to it because I saw the trailers. I thought the trailers were really cool. I like Miles Teller a lot. I'm one of the few people in the world that will back him up. I think he's a fantastic actor. Had an unrecognizable Aaron Eckhart in it. It looked like it could be a contender for it's late, folks. These puns don't come out of nowhere. Delirious sleep, non-sleep. Then, anyways, it looked like it could have been a really good boxing film. Maybe garner some Oscar nods, if you will. And so, what did I think of this? It's kind of a so-so movie, and there's a lot that needs to be fixed. Thematically and technically. So let's get real and break down Bleed for This. Let's start with the writing and directing. In terms of the story, yes, it is a very basic boxing story. But what I actually found missing were some of the stereotypes of a traditional boxing film. This film to me had no emotional weight to it whatsoever. I felt like we were going from scene to scene to scene without any weight behind any of it. Even when it got to the fights, I never felt involved. I never felt like I was in the fight itself, and thus I was just watching like, okay, someone's fighting. I didn't feel any like type of gravitas to it that Miles Teller should have brought to the fights, or when he was fighting any of the opponents in any of the movie or fights or whatever. I never felt wait for the opponents either. It just felt like a lifeless fight, and I didn't feel like I was into it at all or just involved emotionally whatsoever following this character's journey. And that's another thing with characters. These are all one-note characters, very flat characters. There was no life given to any of them. I didn't feel like I knew any of them. Like Aaron Eckhart just pops on screen, and it's just like, cool, we're just gonna assume that he knows the family. Let's train him. That's about it. We know that he's an alcoholic. We know that Vinny Pazienza is a really optimistic guy who just loves to fight. That's about it. His dad, I guess, has the best transformation in the entire film, but even he's one note. The mom loves to pray a lot in her house and cook food. Like I felt like none of these characters had life to it, and when it got down to the emotional moments, I was never invested or emotionally connected to any of these characters because it didn't know anyone. It just felt very flat to me, story-wise and character-wise. Like it was kind of astounding to see that was just kind of lifeless for such an inspirational film. Kind of weird, right? Going into the direction, nothing was new that was added to the boxing genre. I didn't feel like the director took any chances. It was very safe. And when you have such a kind of average, lifeless story and characters built around a true story, the direction seems flat. And it doesn't seem like it's really going anywhere. And when it got to the actual car crash or when it got to the actual boxing scenes, I don't know what it was with the director, but everything was just so fast. It just nothing had a flow to it. It was just like scene here, emotional stuff. Okay, let's go to the next scene. A little quick emotional stuff, car wreck, and next scene. It's just I never felt like there was anything that allowing the film to breathe. It was just kind of like boom, 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 and we didn't really feel like we were in this for the long haul. I just felt like I was just watching something rather than be investing into this underdog who pretty much beat all the odds made by doctors. So yeah, I just thought the direction was just kind of flat in my opinion, and the boxing scenes in general, they weren't filmed very well, and we'll get to that in cinematography in just a second. But I never felt like any sweeping epic shots to really kind of put me into the ring and kind of dodging these punches from these fighters. I'm like, oh man, I'm in this. I'm there. No, I never felt that once. So yeah, direction, sorry. And here's the weird thing. Going into the acting, I thought Aaron Eckhart was superb, and I will use that word. Regardless if his character was flat or not, he was really good as his character that was written for him. Miles Teller, once again, I will back this guy up in a heartbeat. I actually love this guy. Whiplash. Even this this year with War Dogs, The Spectacular Now. The guy has a really good indie kind of resume on his shoulders. This film, he's really good in, but the movie around him is not. So when you have Miles Teller and Aaron Eckhart giving their 100%, and you see the conviction in their face, and you see the drive in Miles Teller and Vinny as his character, they become those characters. You see Aaron Eckhart. He is a guy that doesn't give up on Vinny. He's a guy that wants to train him, but that's all we really know about him. We don't really know much about him. I want to know more about him. Who is he? Like, I don't know, guys. The acting, like I said, very good performances, weak characters. Cinematography. Listen, I don't mind handheld at all. It was too shaky. It was. And when you have it with the choppy editing, it does not flow together, especially when you're in those boxing scenes themselves. It just feels jumbled. It doesn't feel cohesive. It just feels very rushed together. And I really appreciate the grounded kind of realism that the cinematography did bring when it wasn't in the ring, when it was kind of like that handheld, kind of in the streets, in the boxing ring. At the gym, I felt like, yeah, this is gritty. This is kind of dirty. I love it. You're getting into the kind of environment that this film kind of portrays, but the boxing scenes are filmed very poorly. And like I said, the grounded realism goes with the grounded realism of the characters as well, regardless if they're written poorly. So yeah, the way it was shot when it's not in the boxing ring was good. When it was in the boxing ring, no thank you. Editing wise, movie's 2 hours long, but there's nothing. Like, when the movie's done, you're like, well, I didn't really feel like anything happened. I just saw a bunch of scenes put together that really didn't have any impact on me whatsoever from when I started in the damn thing. So I don't know, guys. This one is really weird for me. So yeah, I thought the editing overall was just very, very slow, and it didn't really add up to anything towards the end, not having any emotional payoff whatsoever. Guys, I thought the performances were really good. I thought some of the scenes, there are some scenes in this film that are not in the boxing ring. Like, some of the emotional core scenes that deal with character development, I thought were good. Like, some of these scenes were good. But when you have the acting pedigree like that, it's going to make sense. But when you have everything else around it not really trying, I kind of feel bad for Miles and Aaron. Like, they did the best they could for the script and the material that they were given. And I feel like this did nothing to improve or try anything different on the boxing genre. And I'm all for taking risk. I'm all for taking chances. If you want to play it safe and do stereotypes, that's fine. Just do it well. And even then, it just didn't do it well. It's just, I think what it boils down to is I feel like I didn't know anyone. And I think for a story like this, that's like a really great underdog comeback triumph of the century, I didn't feel connected to him whatsoever. And as an audience member, that's kind of a bad thing. So guys, not a good film, not a bad film. It's kind of so in the middle, but I'm going to give it the one edge up because the performances are really good. So I'm going to give Bleed for this a C+. So what did you guys think of this one? What do you think about boxing movies in general? Are you tired of them? Do you like them? Are they guilty pleasure just like they are for me and whatnot? Let me know on that place. Let's rub below my face and let me know. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee reporting for DallasMovieScreenings.com. And tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.